Hey everyone, this is Joe Burns, the Mind Op, with another Tahoe Talk. I do not have the kids here today. It is a gorgeous day in Southern California. We got a very rare, not just a rainstorm last night, but we got a thunderstorm, which reminded me of growing up on the East Coast, and it was really kind of cool, lightning and thunder, which is very rare for us here in Southern California. And you can see that it really cleared out the skies, and it is just gorgeous here today. So it's a good day to do a Tahoe Talk, even though I don't have the dogs with me. So I want to talk about what's going on with a lot of my clients this week, and this idea of our higher self. So remember that it's very natural for us to go into fight or flight. It's very natural for that kind of hunter-gatherer, primitive brain of ours to be looking for threat assessment. I did a class last night at HMI where I teach, and I did it on dream therapy. And this idea that, our base levels, at the stem of the brain level is always looking for threat assessment. It's always looking for survival. And that's natural. And I want you to understand that that's not something that we're ever going to completely get rid of, because what happened is, for my clients this week, is a lot of them had like really amazing breakthroughs, and they had really great outcomes in terms of how they were dealing things. But there was this feeling that survival instinct came up. And one of the things I always talk about is, in terms of the tools that I work on with everybody, is stop, drop, and roll. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that PSA, but stop, drop, and roll was, if you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll. And I never quite understood it. I don't know if you're like rolling out the fire, or you're rolling underneath the smoke, or what that is, but it stuck with me. It was a good PSA. It was like, it definitely stuck with me. And I do think that it's really appropriate when something comes up that you're trying to deal with. A lot of times for a lot of the clients, I would say this week, maybe it was dealing with a situation that they wanted to go well, or maybe it's that person at work, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's your wife, your husband, your spouse, your partner, and you want things to go well. You want to be in that higher self, but something comes at you like a threat. And remember, if we're that hunter-gatherer, if we're, I always use this example, right? If we're walking to the watering hole, the knowns and the unknowns of the subconscious are going to be such a big deal. So if something's an unknown, or we perceive it as a possible threat, remember that negativity bias is always going to be infinitely more impactful and have a lot more charge than something positive. So, for example, if you and I are walking to the watering hole as hunter-gatherers, and over the left bank comes a tribe that we know, and they're a known, and they bring us fruit, and so that's great. They give us a couple apples or something, and we get to eat for the day. Yay! But that other tribe comes up, even if we don't know if they're hostile, the concept that it's unknown, the concept that they might be a threat, the concept that they might come and eliminate us from the gene pool forever, and that's so our subconscious mind, the way our mind works, is always trying to protect us, defend, and that's not a bad thing. But we don't want to stay in that place, right? So one of the tools that we have, like we've talked about before, the questions that we ask, the language that we use, is this true? Does it serve me to think that it's true? These are the 4 questions that I always give, and you've gotten these on previous videos, right? What else? What are the infinite other things that could be true? And then what's the gift in it? So that we get some kind of semblance of moving into that higher consciousness. And here's what happened for so many of my clients this week, which is so amazing, is they did that. And they got in this amazing place where they were their higher self. And one of the big kind of the homework that I gave, and I'll give it to you, and I would love to hear comments and get your comments on how this worked out for you. When you are in that higher place, so you do the work to kind of get out of that survival mode. You want to get in your ideal self. You want to get in that place where you're your best self, right? You're your higher self. So we have some tools to get there. when you get in that survival mode, just drop it. Don't beat yourself up. Don't get in some kind of conflict with that subconscious mind that's trying to take care of you, or that critical mind that's trying to take care of you. Thank it and just say, okay, cool, let's move on. Let's move into that higher self. And then the homework that I gave everybody, that when they kind of exacted this, they had these amazing interactions. And once we really unpacked it in sessions, they had these incredible breakthroughs, and they really got to see that it's okay when the survival self comes up, as long as you move into the higher self. And when you're looking at somebody that you're dealing with, the homework that I gave them is find 2 things in that person that you absolutely love and adore. I don't care if it's the jerk at work, or your boss, or somebody that you're even having a problem with. Obviously, if it's your spouse or somebody you love, or your dad or your son, or your sister, that's probably going to be easier because there are things that you really love about that person. But find something in that person where you're having the interaction. And this is what being on purpose at the Mind on Purpose is all about, right? Is having interactions where you are loving and responsive, and you are your higher self, and you give that person an opportunity to see themselves through your eyes. You give them an opportunity to be their higher self. And so this little kind of homework assignment, or just this extra tool, is when you find something you genuinely like in that other person, you genuinely like, it has to be genuine. You're meeting them where they're at, right? This is a great NLP concept that we'll talk about, and we've always talked about. So you're meeting them where you're at. You're not trying to control them, but you are definitely having an influence over them. And how does that work? Because they get to see their higher self through your eyes, and you open up that space for possibility. You open up that space, instead of making it about this, they are threatening me, it's got to be this. The minute you open up that space, and the minute you start to look at them as their higher self, and they get to see that reflection of themselves in you, not just how you're acting, how you're treating them, and how you literally are looking at them. And I'll do this in hypnosis, we'll do it with NLP, we'll do it in all different types of ways as far as session work with somebody. But if you can literally go into an interaction, be your higher self, know that threat assessment's going to be there. Okay, stop, move on, get in that higher place. Find something you really, really admire about this person. Find something you really, really like about this person, and allow them that space. Allow them to see themselves through your eyes in what you admire. So they literally see the reflection of their best self in you. You're being your best self, and you're giving them space to be their best self. And it's profound. You will see amazing results in terms of the interactions that you will have, because you are, we can talk about law of attraction, law of vibration, law of expectation, all these things we've talked about before, but you're just in that place that you want to be. You're that person that you want to be. And they're seeing that, and they're responding to that versus reacting to that, because you're not in that lower vibration survival self. I hope that makes sense. Comment, let me know how this went. If you know somebody that's either struggling or stuck, or is really looking just to get to that next level, the Mind on Purpose program, I'm actually doing I'm looking for 10 people to kind of be my beta test for this whole new program that I'm launching. It's really all of these things that we've talked about. You can reach out to me if it's you, if it's somebody else. Like, share, all that good stuff. Touch the notification stuff on this. I'm going to put it up on YouTube. I'm going to have it on Facebook. And try this week. Try this week. Be your higher self. Look at others with what you admire, so they can see that through your own eyes. I think it's going to go amazing for you, and it's going to be profound, and I can't wait to hear about it. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a fantastic week, and be amazing to each other out there. Thanks.